Hello everyone, welcome to Neso Academy. In this lecture, we will understand access specifiers in C++. So without any further delay, let's get started with this lecture and let's see what are the topics. The first topic is Introduction to Access Specifiers. First, I will introduce you to access specifiers. Then we will understand the public access specifier and the private access specifier. So these are the topics. Let's start with the first one, that is Introduction to Access Specifiers. So what are access specifiers? Access specifiers are keywords that define level of accessibility of members of a class. We already know about private and public keywords. These are access specifiers only. These are the keywords that define the level of accessibility of members of a specific class. They control who can access what in a program. This is the meaning of defining the level of accessibility of members. They control who can access what. This means they tell whether a specific member is accessible outside the class or not. We have three different types of access specifiers in C++. We have public, private, and protected access specifiers. We already know the basics of public and private access specifiers from our previous discussions. We need to also understand the protected access specifier. But we will understand this specific access specifier later in this course when we will understand inheritance properly. In this lecture, our focus will be to understand public and private access specifiers properly. So that's the introduction to access specifiers. This means we are done with the first topic. Now let's move to the second topic to understand the public access specifier. The public access specifier allows members to be defined that are accessible from anywhere in the program, both inside and outside the class. So with the help of public access specifier, we can make some members of the class accessible even outside the class. That is, we make them accessible from anywhere in the program. They are accessible inside and outside the class. Now to understand the significance of public access specifier and how to use it in programs, let's take one C++ program. Here is the example C++ program. I have included IOStream and string header files. You will get to know why I have included the string header file. This is the class student, and here I have defined these public members. Here you can observe that name and roll number are defined here. These are data members. Name has the type std string. To use std string, we need to include the string header file. That's why I have included this header file. I hope this is clear to you. I have defined the name variable as a string variable. Therefore, this variable can hold a sequence of characters. Then we have this roll number variable of type integer. It can hold an integer. Then we have this member function display. Its return type is void. It has the capability to display name and roll number in a specific format on the screen. So these are all the members of this class, and these members are public members. Therefore, we can access these members even outside the class, and we can access them through the object of this class. Here is the demonstration for the same. Inside the main function, I have defined the object S1 of type student. This means I have defined object S1 of class student. Now, through this object, we can access all the members of this class. This can be done by specifying the name of the object followed by the dot operator and then the name of the member which we want to access. Here, I am trying to provide this string Bob to this name variable, which is the data member of this class. In the same way, I am providing this value 101 to this roll number variable, which is also the data member of this class. And I'm doing this with the help of the S1 object. Here I'm calling the display function through the S1 object. As I'm calling this function through the S1 object, name will be replaced by Bob and roll number will be replaced by 101. This is because these values are provided to these variables with the help of S1 object. So, if we call this function via the S1 object, then we would be able to see the output like this. We will see name as Bob and roll number as 101. I hope this is clear to you. So, this is the use of public access specifier. With the help of public access specifier, we can access members of the class from anywhere in the program. So with this, we have understood the public access specifier. This means we are done with the second topic also. Now let's move to the third topic to understand the private access specifier. The private access specifier allows members to be accessed only within the class. So if we put some members under the private access specifier, then those members are only accessible within the class. They are not accessible from outside the class. Even if we create an object of the class and through that object, if we try to access the members that are private, then we would not be able to do so. Also, by default, members of a class are private. If we do not specify the private keyword, then the members are treated as private. I hope this is clear. Now, let's take one example program to properly understand how to use the private access specifier in C++ programs. Again, I took the same class and this time, name and roll number are private members of this class. And the only public member of this class is display. Inside the main function, I have created the object S1 of student. And through this S1 object, I am trying to access name and roll number, which is not allowed because these are private members. Therefore, we will get error from the compiler. Now, what if we want to provide values to these members via the S1 object and that too from the main function? This can be done by creating the member function, that to a public member function, and through that member function we can provide values to these private members. These private members are accessible within this class. Therefore, we can create a public member function, and through that member function we can provide values to these variables. Let's define the public member function setStudent. Here you can observe these parameters n and r. N represents name and R represents roll number. Whatever the values we receive here are also provided to name and roll number variables, which are private in this class. We can access them here in this function because this is the member function of this class. These variables are accessible within this class. That's why providing name and roll number in this function is perfectly valid. Now we can call this function and provide values to these parameters. For this purpose, we need to remove these two statements and write this specific statement. Here, through the S1 object, I am calling the setStudent function and I am passing these values to these parameters. Now this means name will receive Bob and roll number will receive 101. So indirectly, through the S1 object, I am passing values to these private members. I hope this is clear to you. We cannot directly access these members outside the class, but through the member function, we can provide values to these members. In this way, we are providing restricted control to these members. And this is the usefulness of private access specifier. I hope this is clear to you. Now, when we execute this program, we will get the output name as Bob and roll number 101. So with this, we have properly understood the private access specifier as well. This means we are done with the last topic as well. And we are done with this lecture. Okay, friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this lecture. I will see you in the next one.